so much for your trust. What's up? We're live on YouTube and TikTok. We're here to answer your questions. Oh, also on Facebook. My name is John Ting. I practice immigration law to help you secure your legal status to live and work in America legally. So we got a lot of questions already through the feed. Thank you so much. Alrighty, so don't be shy. Keep asking. And if for some reason I'm not able to answer your question, go ahead and subscribe now or follow so you can get the notification when I go live next. Because I go live kind of at random times, depending on my schedule. All right, so okay, Prasanna, you apply for I-130 in March. When will it be approved? Uh, is that family preference or what is that? Immediate relative, Prasanna? You're in the States with F1 visa, student visa? Okay. So let's say it's an immediate relative, okay? You can see here on TikTok at least, this chart right here is a little bit outdated. 15.5 months is what it shows now, or at the time of this screenshot, but now it says 16 months. That's if the spouse sponsor is a US citizen. Right over here, this says C notes, and this is if the sponsor is a resident. C notes basically means they're not going to make a decision on family preference until your prior date shows up on Visa Bulletin. That is problematic. It's a good thing for people who are, let's say you sponsor your spouse or you sponsor, like I was mentioning, like I sponsor my brother and he's got kids, then the longer the petition is processing, that's a good thing for the kids, assuming they're abroad. Okay. That's typically the scenario. But if the immigrant beneficiary is in America, that's not a good thing because most likely you need to file a waiver. And the waiver cannot be filed unless the petition has been approved, right? So imagine how much time you have to wait just for petition and then tack on another 3 years if it still is going to take 3 years. All right, hopefully. I don't think Trump's going to like extend the time on cases necessarily, but hopefully he doesn't do that, okay? Now, in a lot of scenarios we don't hope, okay? I have a success story I want to share with you real quick. I was supposed to have today's Thursday. I was supposed to have a court hearing tomorrow, the 13th, up in Dallas, and we got the case dismissed. The short answer, we got the case dismissed yesterday. But a lot of things happen behind the scenes that most clients don't know this. Like attorneys don't take the time to explain this, right? Like, hey, we got the job. Hey, buddy, we got the job done. We got the case dismissed. That's usually what attorneys do because we just got a lot of cases. We got to move on to the next one, unfortunately. But y'all need to understand this. Y'all need to have, if you're going to hire an attorney, a law firm, you need to figure out which one is proactive. And for us to be proactive, I have set up guidelines. I have set up workflow for my team, plus training to say, this is how we advocate for a client. So as soon as, or actually before we found out who was the assigned attorney for this court case, which we found out I think on Monday, we already had an email drafted of what we're requesting. We don't wait until like, oh, what are we gonna do? And we don't figure that out after the attorney is assigned, the government attorney. We figure that out months before. Okay, so I want to share that example. So we got the case dismissed, and what does that also do? Practically speaking, the client doesn't have to take time off from work. Unfortunately, in America, that's what we're trained to do: work, 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 so we can pay off tax. But he doesn't have to take off work. Okay, I don't have to fly up to Houston or Dallas from Houston and ask him to pay the travel cost. Save time and money for y'all. Okay, that's what we try to do. I can't guarantee that for every client. All right. All right. So next question here. Thank you for joining. Really appreciate it. Please, if you're on this platform right here, if you don't mind, can you tap the screen a little bit? Um, it's 9:26. I'll be on, I think, about 15 more minutes here. Thank you so much for the questions. Really appreciate y'all's trust. Okay, next person is Diane. You got a 485 reopen and you reconsidered completed RFE for proof of lawful entry in medical exam. I mean, it's good that you could complete him, like, meaning you filed the response, you gave him that. Why was it closed out, like, in the first place? Lack of response or something? Yeah, of course, if they reopened it, then that's a good sign. I don't know what you mean by completed though. But is it like an indication? Most people ask, is it indication like how soon USCIS gonna send you a decision? No, unfortunately, it doesn't necessarily mean like you're gonna get it next week, tomorrow, or next month, or 6 months later. That's the unfortunate part. So if it's adjustment status, for example, and it's been 15 months, it's been 15 months since the filing date, the receipt date on your notice, 797 notice. Okay, then we'll file a lawsuit. Okay, mandamus lawsuit to speed up the decision, or it could be interview if you haven't been interviewed. Now, of course, in the Biden administration, at least with our experience, majority of cases have the interview has been waived. We anticipate that with Trump administration, there will be marriage interviews, which, to be honest, like to be frank, like it's I'm surprised that they allowed a much longer time to waive interviews because I feel like interviews are one of the best ways. Other than you got documented, I just did a training with my team yesterday as a refresher. Of course, even though they're experienced, it's nice to have reminders, refreshers about like what we call standard of evidence, which, by the way, is preponderance of the evidence. So it's the lowest standard, but yet some people get denied. So that's why, for peace of mind, you might want to consider hiring an attorney. It's not a walk in the park. All right, Dora, you said you heard other TikToks. You could get married after 6 days, and she could stay. Doesn't seem okay. Um, like, do you mean that seems like a too short of a time frame? Uh, is that what you mean? Sorry for the glare. Maybe I should turn this one off. Did that help a little? Okay, so there's not necessarily like a black and white time frame, but the little bit longer you wait until after entry on the B1 visitor visa or B2 visitor visa, the better it is. Okay, in the sense that you want to reduce the likelihood that a USCIS officer is going to ask, well, how come you just got married so soon after entry? Little suspect. So of course I recommend to wait at least 60 days. Definitely don't get married in the first month if you can hold up. But I can tell you that we've had some clients get a little anxious and want to get, legally married sooner than later, and we got them approved. So I wouldn't say that's like a black and white rule that you have to wait 60 days. All right. Hopefully that helps. On Jess, yes, we do help with VAWA cases. I can tell you right now that we help with, I wouldn't say everything. We don't help with it. We refer out for asylum. Okay. We love to help everyone. I wish we had more capacity to do that, but y'all, if you're like a supervisor, a leader in your where you work, or you own your own company, it's difficult to manage a lot of things, right? So we try our best to focus, but and we'll be happy to refer you to trusted colleagues. Of course, you got to conduct your own due diligence. Um, let's see here. Shanti, is it wise to file I-130 petition while your spouse is awaiting citizenship interview? Well, I mean, if your spouse already filed to become a citizen, I think you might as well wait, because the updating USCIS that that your spouse has become a citizen. Um, I wouldn't say it's complicated, but there's no like clear indication for USCIS to know, like, to update you, say, yes, we received your mail. There's no status online for them to say, "Oh, yes, we received your mail that you're a citizen." Like, that would be nice that they update you, but they don't. And let me know. If y'all have done that, let me know. We just don't have access to your client's My USCIS account. So, hopefully your spouse already filed citizenship naturalization several months ago. Would it be risky to apply 131 with DACA now? No, I mean, they already have your information, Lizeth. So I would file ASAP. Okay. Look, even if you're not married to a US citizen or you're not married to a resident, and maybe that resident spouse will become a citizen later, and you have DACA right now, you need to figure it out on how to apply, what reason you will use to apply for advanced parole ASAP. I recorded a video about those possible reasons, scenarios. It was probably about a month ago, so look for that video if you can. If you can't find it and you want us to share with you, just email us, okay, and we'll share with you. Okay, which by the way, if you want to find our email, you could DM and we can send you the email address. Would it be risky? Okay. Kevin Prakash, is there any update for I-130 LPR sponsoring wife in Fiji? No, there's no update. The only update I can tell you right now is it said see notes since September 2024. Okay, they changed it in about August, September, and now it says um, now it says they're gonna wait to make a decision until your prior date shows up on the visa bulletin. That is problematic. Okay. But for you, your wife's in Fiji, so I mean, that's a little bit different. Fortunately, she doesn't have to file a waiver. So, by the way, for that scenario, I've been telling y'all for the past couple days, we are considering to file a lawsuit as a group for this situation. Okay, LPR, where it says C notes, like that situation, because people need to know, not just know, but people need to have their petition approved sooner than later because of the waiver for the people who need to file a waiver. Okay, Urs Ortiz, welcome back. Or Urs Ortiz, yours. Consulate process at 8 months, beginning of December. Now it says 16 months. I'm curious, Miss Ortiz, where did you get that information? Did the consulate tell you that? Healing, healing Virgo. But yeah, of course, that is problematic. So either way, you might want to consider contacting us maybe at least 12 months from now, or 12 months from when you got documented qualified. If you still haven't had an interview, then you need to contact us to consider for mandamus lawsuit. Okay. Healing Virgo. Can can your Nigerian husband come to see you in USA on his work visa in Canada? What does Canada have to do with it? He has a work visa in Canada, but he's not Canadian, so he needs to. If not Canadian, then he's not eligible for the ESTA visa waiver. So he needs to apply for a visitor visa from America. But most likely, he will get visa refused because you're already married to him. So visa officer will assume, unfortunately, they will presume that he's going to overstay his visa if you're already since you're already married. So for y'all who are not married quite yet, and you're wondering if you're possible to apply for a visitor visa, you might want to do that. Apply for that before you get married. Okay, for the people who are not married yet. Now, I'm not trying to give others a hard time. Everyone's situation is different. Um, this is a strategy call. Revolution 76. Can a judge grant a green card on withholding removal? No. Withholding removal is not to get your green card. Withholding removal, it's kind of like, I don't know I forgot how they call it. We don't handle those cases anymore, but it's kind of like a temporary pass, essentially. It's not asylee status. That's that's asylum. Um, yeah, even for people who are granted asylee status, They are asylee for at least a year, and then but you need to apply for adjustment of status to be a green card holder. But withholding removal does not have that option, does not have that second step of applying for a green card, unfortunately. And if you're wondering, like, what is John talking about, withholding removal or asylum? It's the same application actually on paper, but it's if you miss the 1 year deadline, okay, let's say you entered America on January 1st and it comes down to the next year of like January 1st of the following year, and you haven't filed for that application to USCIS, then you're not going to be, even if you go through an interview or a court hearing, you're not going to get asylee status, even if you win. That will be withholding removal. So it's the 1 year rule, okay? And of course, if y'all don't know that, that's actually understandable because it's not like you come through the border and then custom officers say, "Hey, buddy, you should know about this 1 year rule." They're not your lawyer, right? It's just like going to a court clerk. They're not your attorney. They can't provide legal advice. So don't assume that. Don't assume that a clerk, and it may seem kind of ridiculous, but sometimes some kind of procedural issues, like you're wondering, can I do this? Can I do that? Unfortunately, most clerks don't feel comfortable providing that information because that's legal advice technically in America. So that's why if you want the most peace of mind, first thing to do, folks, if you're on YouTube or Facebook, subscribe down below, or if you're on TikTok, follow up there or down there where my name Green Card Guys shows up, okay? So you get future notifications of when I go live. All right, let's see. Thank you so much for your questions. I am trying my best to go. I don't know why. Usually in the evening I go faster to answer your questions, but there's just so much information. Okay, to share with y'all. Aria 88, you're married but not living together yet. Should you wait to apply for I-130 and 485? You don't have to wait, but like, why are you not living together right now? And so, is it because you're like in different states, different cities, or you need to find like apartment together or something? Those are, those are reasonable reasons to use if you ask later, but don't get in this mindset like whether you or your spouse and you're like, oh, we haven't found a place yet, so let's just wait, let's wait. You got to have a plan. Create a strategic plan, put it on a calendar, like my wife would tell me actually. I don't know why. For work, I'm really good. Personally, I take more of a back seat on stuff like that. But for immigration, for your life scenarios to live together, put it on the calendar. You need to make a deadline, okay? Because I know how life is, right? In personal life, you might forget to do certain things, other things pop up. You need to make a plan. How are you going to live together? Because who knows? Maybe the interview notice could come 6 months after, and you're like, oh shoot, we haven't had time to move together. Hot tip: if you're filing for a marriage case, you living together, or having a life together in America, it's not required, but it is helpful to update and get a new driver license or ID with the same address. Okay, it's just a simple thing to do that can help your case get approved. Like it doesn't seem like a big deal, but some officers ask, and then you have to share a reason like, oh, this is why we didn't do this, blah blah blah. Dora, you share that Scotland is beautiful. We just got back. Malta is the best place we found. Oh, nice. I gotta check that out. 22 pineapples. I like your profile photo with Buddy the Elf. Oklahoma to Australian waiting for AO. You're Australian waiting for AOS. Okay. Wish you all the best. By the way, if you have a moment, please share where you're watching from, at least the state. I'm always interested, or country. I'm always interested how far the channel has reached. Okay, so let me see. Let me invite y'all to the show. If y'all are on any of these channels, okay, you're welcome to join the show. If you're on TikTok, I think it's down below where it shows multi-guest, okay? If you're on YouTube or Facebook, there's a link I just shared in the comment section. Nancy, you live in Cali? Oh, you're in Texas right now? Oh, okay, cool. But you live in Cali? What you trying to do? You trying to find a home in here in Texas? Prices have gone up for y'all because of y'all folks in California and Florida moving over here. No, I'm just messing around, but seriously. I don't know. Every time I like s- swipe it, then it scrolls all the way down. Tor, yes, we do handle mandamus lawsuits for pending asylum cases. That could be waiting for an interview, minimum 4 years, waiting for an interview, or waiting for a decision. Can you believe that? That people have had an interview several years ago and still haven't received a decision. Like literally, USCIS, I've seen their desk. They got case files everywhere. It's ridiculous. Imagine what a actual service center looks like. All right, let's see. Okay, cool. Oh, holiday party. Sounds like a very important holiday party to be here. You staying the whole month or something? December 12th. Okay. Nicole Polanco, your mom is now in the 15th month. What can she do? She's married with a U.S. citizen. I don't know what you mean. It's now on the 15th month. Oh, 15 months waiting already. Okay. Is she here in America? Then yeah, we need to file a mandamus lawsuit. By the way, if you're not sure, like, oh, John's talked about mandamus lawsuit, sue for legal status, so you can go on your Disney cruise or the beach, abroad, or like someone Dory mentioned, Maldives, Scotland, and you're like, man, you really want to go, okay? But you don't know if your case has been processing or pending for a long enough time to file that lawsuit. That's okay. Our team, I share a chart. I shared a chart with my team. Okay. I feel like I'm dancing or something. I shared a chart with my team, and they will tell you, okay? They will tell you if your case has been processing a long enough time, I guess, an unreasonable amount of time. All right. And so because we're not a type of law firm says, yeah, yeah, we can help you, we can help you. You know what I mean? Like you can tell when some law firms are like that. Like this seems a little skeptical, but that's why I share in a live show quite often. Like I'm pretty consistent in my timing. I don't really deviate unless something has changed. In fact, some people, especially for the 221G cases, some people ask like, "Can we sue?" But it's only like they just had the interview yesterday. They can't sue that soon. It has to be at least. Um, I mean, we really prefer to wait at least 6 months. At least it's really better 12 months, but we've we've even been successful for F1 student visa. Look, schools are waiting on these students in international tuition money, and you would think the government would process those faster, the visa. But after 6 months, we filed a lawsuit, and then he got the visa within about a month. Okay, so it's not just for asylum or adjustment of status. We can sue in many different scenarios. Okay, Herb on YouTube asks, your KFT Keeping Families Together application, which AKA is the marriage parole in place, still says actively being reviewed. What kind of BS is that? You know it's been swiped off, voided. Oops, excuse me. But they said some of them got approved. Thanks for any info. Um, yeah, it's void. Okay, so because it's void, that's what I'm telling y'all. Like whatever it says on your My USCIS account is BS. Like I know you feel good for a second, like this is actively being reviewed. Then you check like 3 months later. I mean, you check like I know y'all check like pretty consistently, but let's say you check like 6 months later, you're like, it still says actively being reviewed. Is that a good thing? Like, Sure, but I mean, does it really mean they're actively reviewing your case? Like when I think you and I are on the same page. When I hear when I see or read actively being reviewed, I'm like, so you're viewing it like right now? Like that's what would make sense, right? So, anyways, it's not true. Okay, unfortunately, KFT marriage PIP is done, so they're not reviewing any more cases. Right? Isn't that weird? Right? It's done, but they have said actively being reviewed for this. So it's just that's a clear indication it's messing with y'all. Okay, so all right, I gotta wrap up pretty soon. I can answer two more questions. Chrissy, you asked, will pending VAWA cases be affected? Affected by what? Trump? I don't know. I mean, that's not that I did not see that on his list of Project 2025 immigration items. Lex said, how long will it take to get us to the state after marrying? I don't know. When did you file your case already? Your consular processing? Are you abroad? Lexan, you got your immigration letter? I don't know what you mean immigration letter. There's a lot of different notices, is what we call it. How long will it take to be fixed? I'm assuming you mean like receipt notice. Brian Nelson, what's my thoughts on K3? Generally, I would file K3 if you're already married or if you're thinking about getting married. That our experience with that, it's yeah, it's still faster than just K1. Um, Zana, TikTok hid your comment, but I see your question now, and I'm showing it here. You received an administrative closure decision from judge. Are you safe now? Um, I hope it's not too. I mean, they could always reopen your case in court if, like, usually that happens. Typically, I won't say only, but typically, if like you got arrested again, you got detained. But the thing is, like with Trump, I believe, if I recall correctly, there was a time the Department of Justice, which the immigration court system is tucked under, housed under the Department of Justice, and they made a change. It said they started reopening these cases, essentially, not reopen, but like we call it, put it back on the docket, essentially, on the court's calendar. So preferably Zana or anyone in a situation has an active case in court or an administrative closed case. You need to speak to an immigration attorney, a licensed immigration attorney, not suspended. Some of y'all have contacted us and asked like, "Oh, it seems like something's like off, or something's you seem like you have that gut feeling something's wrong." And then I don't know, we get this feeling sometimes when we hear certain stories. We're like, you know what? Let's just check this other lawyer's name. And almost every time we have this gut feeling, that attorney is suspended from practicing law. And of course, the good attorneys that would tell you, the ethical lawyers that who are suspended would tell you and give you notice, give you email, give you phone call, and say, "Hey, I've been suspended. I have a list of referrals of people who could take care of your case from now on." But yeah, there are some unethical lawyers that you gotta just double check. So for us, I'm licensed in Texas. Okay. You can check me at texasbar.com. You can go to my Google reviews. Okay. Which by the way, I haven't known of a suspended lawyer that has like who has Google reviews that are 5 stars. So I think the Google reviews are a pretty good indication, as at least a starting point. Mac, I am not in Queens, but I would love to be in New York City sometimes. Not when it's cold. Only for tree lighting, I guess, for my family. Which, by the way, with the whole Luigi and United Healthcare CEO, I just saw a video that from last week. Sorry, I shouldn't be chuckling. Um, every life is important, of course. Every life is important. But hopefully, this showcases people's our frustration about denials of health coverage. But anyway, I saw a video you last night that that day of the murder, that there was, I don't know, mudda, is that how am I supposed to say it on social media? That they still proceeded with the tree lighting. That's how significant tree lighting apparently is for tourism in at least in New York City. Okay, let's go to Army on Facebook here. You entered. Thanks for your question here. You entered U.S. with a J1 as a teacher for 2014-19 with the 2-year home country rule. You overstayed, got married to U.S. citizen. Your I-130 is approved, but not the 485 because you need to file a waiver. Waiver was disapproved. Can you apply for parole in place? What parole in place? Military parole in place? Because the marriage parole in place, you might be hiding under the rock if you haven't heard that marriage parole in place has been voided by a Eastern District of Texas court in early November. That's the other thing, folks. A little quick aside. If you're wondering like which attorney you want to hire, you might want to hire a law firm that is up to date, that keeps understanding the current situation. Okay, so you can make the best decision for your own legal status. So for some people in similar situations, Army here on the show, he's got the two. He or she has got the 2-year restriction to on a J1 visa on their passport, and by default, supposed to go back to home country for 2 years. However, there are some waiver options. I do quotations because it's just easier to call it waiver. But the first one we would try is requesting a no objection statement. No objection statement. Okay, so that's less costly, first of all, and it doesn't take as much time. Every consulate embassy is different, but I would say about seems like 2 or 3 months on average. That's just one step, though. There's several other steps after that. There's a J Department of State has a J1 division, and they have to you got to submit application there. But it's nothing like a formal waiver. But hopefully that helps. All right, man, I went live for almost an hour. I was not expecting. Oh wait, YouTube says 30 minutes. Okay. Hey Leo. Hey Leo, if you want to email in and screenshot or something that question, then depending on the question, maybe we could give you that advice. But um, you're international student with OPT. Can you work on TikTok? um, Look, if you were first of all with OPT, you gotta get a job that's related to your degree. Okay, that's first. Now, if you want to earn income on TikTok, passive income, I guess you could say, it could be possible, but we don't normally give advice on that kind of situation. So, first thing that you need to do is take care of getting a W-2 type of job for the OPT. Get compliant with OPT first. Okay. Samuel, uh, thank you so much for your questions. If you don't mind, tap the screen if you're on TikTok. Let's just try to get the 6,000 likes. I got to go in 5 minutes, T minus 5 minutes. Can someone keep me accountable here? Let's see here. My own schedule. Samuel came with a C1D, married to a U.S. citizen. Can you get your green card without going out? No, you cannot. You can only get it when you go out, and you need to apply for a waiver. Hajia Abi, just yesterday your case was updated to reviews. Is that final verdict without any mail? I don't know what you mean by mail. They're not going to mail you anything, as far as I know. But no. Okay, I need to record a video about this. So if your visa has been refused, sometimes it could be that they give you a letter by email or on paper at the interview. For you, Hajia, it sounds like you've had the interview a while back. They give you a 221G. Usually that is to request more documentation, more evidence. Okay. But there are scenarios where they actually refuse it to the extent they actually deny it, and they don't even ask you for anything. There is a process that we handle that we don't sue the government yet. It's called request for reconsideration. Some of y'all unfortunately give up too soon. So Haja, email us, fill out, click on my BIO, click on my name, Green Card Guys, and click on my LNK, and click at least option number 1. Okay, if anyone's in a scenario and you want to figure out if we can help you, our team will tell you if we can. Okay, if you want to speak directly with attorney, you can do that. That's option number 2. They have limited availability, but it also comes at 3 digits. Okay, but if you just want to make sure, like, can we even accept your case, click option 1. Okay. Usually my team, the option 1, you're going to speak to a client care specialist. And usually, I mean, sometimes me, sometimes it's a client care specialist, they'll ask the attorneys to verify, of course. So we absolutely only offer services to people who we believe we can help. If we don't think we're going to can help you, we don't offer services. Okay. Some attorneys don't make a difference, don't make a distinction on that, and that's quite unfortunate. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Betos Tacos. I need it. Oh, welcome back. I think you've commented before. You have a U visa pending and a deportation order. The question, can they deport you? No, you should have a letter deferred action. I mean, here's the thing, y'all. Well, you already have an order. So, but when you get approved for the U visa, then the deportation order is not relevant anymore in that sense. But it's helpful if you can get that deportation order vacated eventually. But of course, you need to get the U visa approved first. You said, by the way, you have an order of removal cancellation until March. What do you mean? You haven't been order removed yet? Like you have a pending case, active case that's up in March? Can you also reapply for this, or is it too risky? Okay, never mind. Sounds like you've already. Betos Tacos, sounds like you need a schedule. My link is down below on Facebook and YouTube, okay? All right. Appreciate the hearts. Thanks for whoa, almost 7,000 likes, hearts. Thanks so much for the love. I have a lunch meeting with another attorney today. Okay, so I can't go live at noon. Please forgive me. But please go ahead and follow, subscribe at your respective channel. And maybe tonight, if I can wake up from putting the kids to sleep, I'll come back live, okay? You all have a good one. Take care of yourselves. Peace.